Why, hello there, Legacy Boomers. Do you miss playing with your sensei's divining top and counterbalance? I know, me too. But we can do something kind of similar in Modern, and maybe you'll like this. Hello, folks. Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for a Modern video. Today's video is sponsored by Evan L., who donated to see this sweet counterbalance deck in action. So, in case you've never played with or against counterbalance, I'm sorry, or you're lucky. I'm not sure exactly which. It's okay. It's a little bit of an oppressive card. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you reveal the top card of your library, and if you match the CMC of the spell that was just cast, you get to just counter it for free, which is pretty nifty. So in the past, this was really abused in Legacy with Sensei's Divining Top and Brainstorm, but we don't really have those cards in Modern. But we have some things that can kind of do similarities. So we have Brainstone, which is a much more expensive Brainstorm, but you can store it on board for a little while. And notably, that is going to be fetchable via Urza Saga. There's a card that I've never seen before, Lens of Clarity. You can look at the top card of your library, and technically you can also look at face-down creatures you don't control, but I don't see that coming up very often. So the idea is we use cards like Brainstone, Lens of Clarity, and Omen of the Sea's Scry ability to just go set up the top card of our library and then use it to repeatedly counter our opponent's stuff. If we make it towards the end game, we can also just repeatedly Jace Brainstorm in order to just make sure we have the right thing at the right time. This will require a little bit of an ability to predict what the opponents are going to cast. So as someone who only plays Modern occasionally, I'm sure I will put the wrong thing on top and lose some games because of it. Now, the other thing that really rewards you for being able to manipulate the top of your library is the Miracle mechanic. And so we are going to be playing Terminus as a 1-mana sweeper and Entreat the Angels as a very swift finisher. So in terms of winning the game, we can attack via Hall of the Storm Giants, we can Entreat the Angels, we can Jace Ultimate, or more than likely, we just get our opponent to concede. Now, it is possible that we can just create a couple of Urza Saga tokens that will do this as well. And if we just take a quick look here, this is a 26 land deck. But keep in mind that the Urza Saga as well as the Hall of the Storm Giants are going to feel a little bit less like lands and more like spells that you can only do if you haven't played another land already. As far as the sideboard goes, there's some interesting stuff here. Chalice of the Void is pretty interesting to me because we're a deck that plays 1-drops, and the most often thing that you lock out via Chalice of the Void is 1-drops. But locking out some 0-mana things is going to be useful as well from time to time for things like Cascade decks. Otherwise, a lot of the stuff that's here is pretty stock. Notably, this is almost a blue-white deck, but there is a couple of red-producing lands like the Triome and the Steam Vents, so that we can cast the Wear Tear in game 1, and then other Wear Tears and Alpine Moon from the sideboard. Yeah, so without further ado, let's just kind of get into it. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for Legacy, Modern, and Vintage. And if you're a regular, please throw me a like before we get started. It's the easiest way to support my content. I'm on my journey to 10,000 YouTube subscribers. Let's see if we can hit it by the end of the year. Okay, so I am immediately noticing a problem with deck construction. We have triple blue and double blue pips, and we have not the ability to cast those. Do I just have 2 planes in this deck and I have both of them? Alright, I have 3 planes in this deck. Jesus, is this hand even keepable if it looks like this? Probably not, right? This is just a turn 2 Omen of the Sea to try to smooth out the mana. I'm gonna ship this one and just try to find something a little more consistent. Oh. Well, Urza Saga is a stupid card. Let's assume that this works out somehow. Not super excited with how this one is starting off, but I don't think I get to just go to 5 here. All right. Are we playing against some sort of Reanimator deck or some sort of Living End deck? This is a Cycler, right? Yeah. So probably playing against Living End. This is what our chalices are really for. Okay. All right. Well, new one of these. I'm not gonna have mana acceleration, so I should just wait to play this. And we'll just get this out of my hand in case an opponent casts a Grief again. This Brainstone is basically just gonna sit in play, and allow me to, like, maybe cash in some of these lands a little bit later. I'm gonna play Urza Saga on my next turn. I was gonna cycle some stuff and then probably play a Living End. Oh, fuck. No, I'm not gonna play Urza Saga, because holding this up on turn 3 is way more important. Oh, yeah. I don't know how I feel about this mana base. Like, playing out the Urza Saga, like, very actively works against casting this card, and this card is dope. I also think I should have played the Misty here. I don't think they saw the Flooded Strand previously. And this card is this card is a pseudo cycler. It like technically doesn't have cycling, but it basically has cycling. So this is the turn that I need them not to go off, because I won't beat it here. Okay. So I'll fetch. I'll pick up the Triome. That's not bad. Alright, so now I basically need to hold this up for the rest of the game. Okay. So we let the Cascade thing resolve, and then it is going to go and reveal a Living End, and then I will counter that. Now, if my opponent can just go off again, so be it. Oh, well. Ooh. Does this just outright kill me? 3, 6, 9, 16. No, it does not outright kill me. The top card of my library could be a Terminus, and then I would stay in the game. But if that is not true, I am just dead. Because removing one creature here is not going to be good enough. I go to 3. Is it Oh my god, it's Terminus! Yes. Oh, wow. Oh my god. This tastes sweet. I'm not gonna lie to you, YouTube. Oh god, it feels good. It feels so good. Now, my opponent can just top deck another way to put one of these duders into play, and then I'm in bad shape. But outside of that happening, I might be able to beat down pretty quickly. Okay. So I want to see, is Scry 2 draw a card, right? Yeah. With Flash. I sort of wonder if they were just supposed to like keep that in hand and potentially just hardcast that. They're already at 5 lands. Okay. Same, especially, or no, that one's 7, not 6 mana. Ask Grief for its evoke cost. Who to activate this? So I can go ahead and cast this and just put a land in my hand. Not gonna shock here. Alright. I'll do the thing. Nice. I'll top this, draw the land. My opponent's Grief will now miss, and it costs them 2 cards in order to do that. Nice. So now they're on empty. I get to activate this Urza Saga. I will reactivate this Urza Saga, because I will still have 2 mana for a counterspell. Now I get to search. I think I'll just pick up a Brainstone. Either way, I don't think that these Brainstones are leaving play. I believe these are just gonna chill here. I would like to get another artifact. Sure. I only have 8 next turn. I wonder if I should upkeep, do the Omen of the Sea thing. I only have like 3 artifacts to hit. I'm probably not supposed to do that. I'll just hold this. Send these in for 8. Opponent's at 2. I have a counter spell. I don't think they get out of this. There's a super weird thing I could have played around by playing this land, actually. So my opponent would have like played a Grief, just hypothetically. Could have Brainstoned, put my counterspell on top, use 2 more mana to Brainstone again, redraw it. If I needed to counter something afterwards, I would have had enough mana to do that. Just, you know, to keep in line the sorts of things that you can do. Alright, so I want Chalice of the Void on 0 for their Living End. And I can consider some of these other counter spells as well. I do not want the Wear Tear that's in the main deck. Teferi just shuts this down, right? Yeah, Teferi just shuts down the Cascade. That's pretty good. Prismatic Ending will not be doing anything here, I don't think. That can get me maybe the first 2 of these in. Mystical Dispute most of the time is just going to be a worse mana leak. These cards are fine. I don't think Omen of the Sea is super potent here. I think I'm going to just sub those out for more counter spells. I'm going to leave the paths in because like there are going to be times where my opponent just straight up hard casts some threats. This is not going to be keepable. This second one is unimpressive, but probably is what's happening. This gets Hallowed Fountain, and then I just pitch Plains, I think. Actually, the Steam Vents produces blue, which is relevant for Archmage's Charm. Yeah. Some slight awkwardness in the mana base. All right. Yeah, we 100% need to play towards blue, blue, blue on turn 3. My opponent goes off on their turn 3. Things are a little scary for me. If they go off on my turn 3 or after that, as long as I've made my 3rd land drop, things are a little bit more okay. This needs to pick up a Triome here. Great. And pick up a Hallowed Fountain and just take it out of my deck here. All right. Things could get a little scary right here. Okay, we have a lot of counter spells now. So I will probably counterspell the first attempt my opponent does at going off so that I can attempt to Mystical Dispute a counterspell that comes afterwards. Or, sorry, a Force of Negation that comes afterwards. So I counterspell this. Now if my opponent Force of Negations, I have Mystical Dispute. How does he draw it up that way? Now if my opponent can just go for it a second time, like, sucks to be me. Okay, that's fine. Like, I'm going to lose the Teferi that was going to be my lockout piece. Okay. Can you go off again? Ah, shit, they can. Alright, let's Lucksack into a Terminus, shall we? 4, 8, 9, 10, 13. I'll Archmage's Charm in my opponent's upkeep and try to Lucksack into Terminus. Target me. Draw 2. Okay, we didn't hit it that time. That's okay. I mean, we got one called shot Terminus already. That's pretty damn good. Alright, so I'm down to 5. And that was not Terminus, so we concede this one. Do not believe I'll change anything about sideboarding here. We'll just go immediately into the next game. Yeah, this is probably a keep. Again, there's this like awkwardness with Urza Saga and like these blue, blue, blue cards, but I think this is fine. It's possible that I should have played Urza Saga on turn 1 to just work towards getting a Chalice on 0 out of my deck. But I think it's better to just like be holding up counterspell from pretty early on. And we'll fetch, grab the Triome. Okay. Now we wait. Yep. Okay. Yep, we're gonna stare at each other for a little while. I think this is the turn that I go ahead and play the Urza Saga. I can play Urza Saga Brainstone while still holding up Counterspell for their turn 3. And then I can have either Counterspell plus Path or Archmage's Charm up for the next turn cycle beyond that. Okay. And I can't really drop my mana currently. This is a great draw. We'll just pass the turn, and then if my opponent goes for the end step, I do have a Counterspell available. And if they just go for it again on their next turn, I have a Force of Negation for that. Alright, so we attempt Counterspell. And they have just always had it. Force of Negation only works if it's not your turn, which is why my opponent is going off on my turn in the first place. So this is just going to happen. I guess I'll just path this now. No, I'm doing it. Just a question of like, is it better to give them the land, which doesn't really matter much right now, or is it better to like play around like a hard cast Force of Negation versus like pitch casting it, doing it on my turn? Oh, that's awfully rude. Okay. That destroys my Urza Saga, which is pretty rough. 7 going to 12, and I take 9 the following turn. I am so fucking good at Magic. Holy shit. Wow. I will, yep. Cast Terminus. Plains. I've never been bailed out so hard in my fucking life by a deck. Alright, opponent opting to shock, which means that they're going to cycle something else. Sure. Okay. Yep. Okay. I mean, I get to just, like, Force of Negation this. Is good for me. And then I'm gonna get to untap and, like, have Archmage's Charm up. Sure. Good stuff. I won't have to counter too many more living ends before, like, it's just not a thing anymore. I think I just, go ahead and pass the turn here. Take my 2. And then I can work towards, like, finding an Urza Saga or another win condition. Alright, I'm down to 10. I think I'm supposed to play this in the draw 2 mode rather than just hold it up. 'Cause I am living in fear of, like, just dying to this card if I don't do some other proactive stuff. Yeah. Sometimes it be like that. Okay, we have another Terminus in the deck. Alright. Sure. Oh, they targeted themselves. Sure. Got weirder if they targeted me. Alright, I'll take my draw 2. Guess I Brainstone now, see if I can set it up for my turn. I'll have another Brainstone to try again, I guess. Activate Brainstone. Not quite gonna do it. I can get through these cards. Like, I can play Archmage's Charm, draw through all this stuff. I don't think that matters. Like, I go Archmage's Charm for 3 mana. Draw 2 cards. Well, I guess... No, it's 3 total mana to Brainstone, so I am dead. GG's. Okay, so this is really awkward. So I have 2 Urza Saga and a Hall of the Storm Giants. Like, I just keep a hand that, like, casts none of my spells and just tries to activate Urza Saga a bunch of time, or I can mulligan this hand. Um, man, this is awkward, because, like, we don't have blue, we don't have white mana. Without any other interaction, I don't know that this is actually keepable. Like, I'm not gonna have any artifacts to boost the size of these Urza Saga. I think this is a mulligan. This is a fine hand. The Wear Terror is probably the card that goes back here. It's most likely in a vacuum to just be dead in the matchup. Alright. I think I'm just gonna go Hollowed Fountain, tapped, and pass. I lose out on the opportunity to have to exile something like a Goblin Guide that could attack on turn 1. Otherwise, it probably doesn't matter too much. Yep, that's fine. I did not lose out on anything for trying to save the 2 points of life. Now, spiking blue mana so that I can actually use this counterspell would be pretty sick. I'm not super sure what Blood Crypt means in Modern right now. Like, when I played Modern back in the day, it was frequently something like Jund, or maybe a Death Shadow deck. I don't know if the same is going to be true now. Beautiful. So, my opponent knows the exact contents of my hand. They know that I have a counterspell. An active counterspell at that. Ooh, it is actually Jund. Yep. I will Path to Exile that. But I'll wait till my opponent's upkeep to do it. So they don't get the mana for next turn and just get an opportunity to just Bloodbraid me. Yeah, I like that plan. Path it. I guess technically I could have waited until their draw step. Give them a chance to draw a basic land. Okay. My opponent is playing Bloodbraid Elf. Like, my Jace is super awkward here. Oh shit, my Jace is super awkward for a different reason now. Prismatic Ending is not going to answer this card. Fuck me. This is 4 to activate? 4 to activate. If my opponent has another land and I just, like, do the Jace thing, the Jace is going to die unless I just plus it immediately. Prismatic Ending being a sorcery speed is so bad here. Also, I can only Prismatic Ending for 2 colors right now. I'm just going to hold up the counterspell. Situation is not great for me, especially after the mulligan already. Yeah. Alright. Let's see what this other side is. An Inquisition. Yeah. I probably just need to keep this body out of play. And my opponent's going to take the Prismatic Ending. And I'm going to play Jace and hope that they don't have another land. Fuck. What is this? Okay. Did not recognize this art. So this becomes a 4/4 immediately. Yeah. Alright, so I can Jace Fate Seal and keep it alive. And get a Brainstorm on my next turn. And we're just going to go ahead and choose myself. I hate how they changed this fucking templating so much. Yes, I will put it on the bottom of the library. I just think that's so much less clear than it used to be, especially when you are the opponent. I just hate how that looks in the chat log. Yeah. Jace gets punched real good. I'll have an opportunity to, no. Yep, so let's brainstorm. Alright, so the plan is a couple of Urza Sagas. I'm just gonna bury Terminus 2 down, I think. Play out a bunch of Urza Sagas. Is how much to activate? 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can technically do it next turn. Although I'll probably just be activating Urza Saga. Okay. I don't have a Pithing Needle in the main deck. That would be real sick right now. Do I have a Pithing Needle in the sideboard? I do have a Pithing Needle in the sideboard. Yup. Bye, Jace. By the way, if you are going to seriously play Miracles, you can do like this whole like... Oh, right, I forget this is Modern Legal. You can do a thing where you actually like bluff having a Miracle card. That's in the options somewhere. Alright. Do I care about this Planeswalker? Like, I can just play an island and kill it with Hall of the Storm Giants. Alternatively, I can just activate Hall of the Storm Giants and try to kill my opponent in 2 hits. That's actually kind of interesting. Huh. Plays better with the Terminus that I'm probably going to draw next turn. I can also, like, I can hit my opponent for 7, I can kill Ren. I do not know what I'm supposed to do. I'll play Urza's Saga and see if I can turn the corner on this game immediately. My opponent still has 7 cards, which is super spooky. So there's a lot of worlds where my opponent has to like leave back Raging Ravine, intending to chump block, and then I just like make 2 Urza Saga construct tokens instead. And it would be larger than Ren and 6 pinging at that point. Alright, I think my opponent's just going to cycle their Nurturing Peatland here. Okay, it's an island. Opponent goes to 5 for that. Their Nurturing Peatland recycling is a little bit annoying here. Okay, yeah. So they're leaving back the Raging Ravine so that they do not die. Which means that it's just my time to start making Urza's constructs instead. And go wide. I don't have a Retrofitter Foundry. Brainstone. I think I want to know what my next draw step is. Ooh, buddy. That's a good one. I will go ahead and play this. And pass the turn. We've gotten that value from my opponent holding back the Raging Ravine. And next turn, I have, like, the Fairy at the ready to bounce a creature out of the way if they get a little saucy. So, I'm not to the point where I have to worry about Ren and 6 yet. Sure. Sure. Okay. I'll go ahead and make another one of these. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do I want to activate Hall of the Storm Giants this turn? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think I do. I'm just going to go ahead and make this and get my Brainstone. Alright. This just lets me look, right? Okay. Like into Fairy. This limits the shenanigans that my opponent is able to do. And so if my opponent doesn't respond to this by killing an artifact construct token, I know that they will die. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so this can return artifact, creature, or enchantment to its owner's hand. I'm just going to plus here. I don't think I want to like minus and just put this in the range of a lightning bolt. I think I just want to kind of like be safe here. Then next turn I get to activate the Hall of the Storm Giants and also just attack with 2 construct tokens. Despite the fact that I'm like kind of running on empty here. Got a lot going on. Oh. Fuck me. All my things are gone. My opponent has a land, which they should, because of Ren and 6. They get to Raging Ravine, attack, and kill Teferi as well. Holy fuck. Actually, no, because that'll kill them due to Hall of the Storm Giants. But are they going to play around me having a land on top of my deck? Oh, that's super interesting. Okay. They just plus Ren and 6. Alright. How big is this? It'll be a 5/5, and this is a 7/7. The Ren and 6 is starting to become a problem. Might be time to just minus the Teferi. Grab Prismatic Ending, get rid of that. Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm just gonna do no target here. Alright. Play this land? I think I do play this land, because I'm gonna need it for Hall of the Storm Giants. We'll Prismatic Ending this for 2 mana. And get rid of it. My opponent has to keep leaving back this Raging Ravine, which is pretty good for me. Okay. Cycle away, that's fine. This really looks like it should be a fetch land. I'm getting so thrown off by that art. Oh, that's spooky. Do I want to try to Brainstone into a counterspell? Yes, I think I do. Oh, Prismatic Ending is almost good. Almost. I don't have the third color for it. Alright. This game is getting real weird. Yeah. Now this Raging Ravine, in theory, is able to attack. Maybe not this turn. These insect tokens are going to help with that. And I don't have this next land around to just, like, do everything that I want it to do. This is my win condition now. That is straight up my win condition. Alright. So, this is a classic legacy thing. I now have Brainstorm and a Terminus on top of my library. So if my opponent ends up activating that Raging Ravine, I will get it. And I will use it to end my opponent's whole career. Fingers crossed. Oh my god, my opponent is fetching. Person, you are at 4 life with a Dark Confidant in play. That is fucking living dangerously. I want this Raging Ravine. I'm gonna let them do that. Yes! No! No! That's not what I wanted. Okay. I forgot that Grist lets my opponent sacrifice creatures. Playing so conservatively with this Raging Ravine. Brainstone. Oh my gosh, it's a Terminus. I think Wear Tear on top now counts as a 3-drop. Go back. Prismatic Ending and Fetch land, I think. Go cast my 1 mana Wrath at instant speed. Seems pretty legit. A little awkward if they cast a 1-drop because I didn't leave my 1-drop on top. But it doesn't feel like they have a 1-drop that's really super worth casting right now. Alright. Oh shit, I did this wrong. The Flooded Strand was going to give me access to red. Ah, fuck. Alright, well, we're going to do this in kind of a stupid way. I'm going to draw some cards. Alright, so now I'll fetch. Are you still an enchantment? No, you're not. You're never an enchantment. Pay the life for Steam Vents. Oh my god, there's an Entreat the Angels on top of my library. Fucking hype. Alright. White, blue, red, 3 colors. Done. Junk that. And then on my turn, I will make a metric shit ton of angels and hope my opponent does not have a Maelstrom Pulse. Feel alive again. Alright, that's Blood Braid. I'll say no to my counterbalance. Your Ren and 6 is resolving. But it's not going to get anywhere close to like the required amount of mana. Or sorry, the required amount of loyalty to bring back Maelstrom Pulse. Sure. Alright, yeah, your Tarmogoyf happens. He's 7/8 Tarmogoyf. That is a thick boy. No shocking to 1. Fair. I like my opponent not making the attack there, by the way. I will reveal Entreat the Angels. Cast all the mana. X is 6. Let's go. About the only way this could have been better was like having a 3-drop randomly on top of my library so that I played around Maelstrom Pulse. Take your draw. Take your draw. Ah. Ah. Yes! This deck is fucking great. What a crazy game. This Ravaging Ravine did so many interesting things. Um, do I need Alpine Moon to answer Ravaging Ravine? I know we kind of like made it sit there, but the only reason that was allowed to happen was because I took that line where I just like attacked my opponent down to 7 life and put them on a 1-turn clock from my manland. And I believe John should have answers to that. Like, I don't know if they're still playing Ghost Quarters, but they're like almost certainly playing like some Assassin's Trophies or something like that. So I shouldn't always expect that to just be safe. I do not want this Wear Tear, I don't think. I probably want something here to deal with that. Otherwise, I'm probably not going to sideboard cards. I don't think Omen of the Sea is particularly great or anything, but most of the rest of the stuff that I've got here is pretty good. I could Blossoming Calm to like have a Veil of Summer effect for discard, but I don't know if that's actually good. My guess is no. Like Veil of Summer draws a card. There's a pretty big gulf between those things in this. I think I'm gonna swap out a couple of Omen of the Seas for this. This does mean that I care about my red mana, like very marginally, for more than just Prismatic Ending, though. I just want to point out how much clock was used in game 1 on both sides of the table. Like, holy crap. Like, there was a lot going on. Honestly, that was one of the more interesting games of Magic that I've played in a long time. And I think my opponent played well. I don't think either one of us played perfectly, but I think my opponent played well. I'm just going to take the opportunity to get the Triome into play here. Like, there's a lot of places on curve where I really just want to have access to those blue pips untapped later. Yep. Oh, sick. You don't get a fetch land back or anything. Nice. I just get to, like, straight 1-for-1 answer that. Holy shit, Prismatic Ending is good. You already knew that if you watch any Magic videos. Nice. This Brainstone also is going to do a whole hell of a lot of work. Oh, that's scary. Yeah. Alright, we are going to lose one of our 4 Flooded Strands here. Oh, hello, Hallowed Fountain. I'll just put a fetch land into play. Because unless I just rip another Prismatic Ending, I probably am just going to Brainstone next turn and try to put back some of these lands. If the board gets really threatening here, though, like if my opponent plays Bloodbraid Elf into another card, I might have to Brainstone now in order to try to set up something a little bit more impressive. Okay, my opponent's just junking a land. Yeah, alright, how bad is it? It's just 6 damage this turn, bad. So bad, but not the end of the world. I think I can take this hit. Actually, maybe I can't. Lily's at 5. If 3 endings and a Pithing Needle to hit. Birds of Saga being a mild success as well. I'm gonna wait. Awkward. Play Flooded Strand, discard Hollowed Fountain, hold up, counterspell, Brainstone later. Or play Hollowed Fountain, because I do kind of want access to a white for like Prismatic Ending based reasons. I think I'm gonna do the shock. This means that I can have like white, white, plus blue, blue, blue very easily. It becomes awkward if I have to counterspell. Oh, don't be another fucking Bloodbraid. Fuck! I believe I am now in the look for Terminus business, rather than like try to counterspell this. This is so much power. I think I just have to let both of these resolve and just fucking go for broke on Terminus here. Because I, like, a Prismatic Ending could answer a Lily, but it can't answer... Actually, maybe I discard the counterspell. I think I do. Alright. Brainstone. 6 damage this turn. I entreat the Angels for 2 and make 2 4/4s. Lily forces me to sacrifice 1. Opponent attacks with Tarmogoyf, I chump block. Or no, they'll attack with both Bloodbraid, so I'll take 3. I think this one is close enough to lost here that I'm going to concede and preserve my clock, since game 1 was so long. Alright, I don't know, my opponent has even more Planeswalkers. I think I'm going to get another Force of Negation into the deck. Over a counterbalance, I think I'll even take another. I just really can't let those things through. This does not have proper mana or enough mana. This is an exceptionally slow hand, but is probably what I'm working with. I'll keep that, toss back Steam Vents, and do my thing. Okay. Alright, we dodge a discard on turn 1. That's nice. With the Triome. And land go. If my opponent doesn't make a big play like a Tarmogoyf or Bob this turn, I feel like I'm in pretty good shape. They do make a big play this turn. I will feel a little behind ball. But like the dream is to be able to just like end of turn, Archmage's Charm, draw 2 cards, and like smooth out everything that I've got going on. Yeah, shit. Yeah. Alright. Just pick up a tapped Hallowed Fountain here. Alright. Well, the good news is I can draw 2 at my opponent's end step. The bad news is my opponent like also gets fuck, danger. Alright, so I can never be without a counter spell once we're a little bit further into this game because of the threat of Boil. Luckily, I have this Force of Negation and 2 other counter spells in hand. I will counter that. I think I just use this one. I value the ability to like do something like tap out for a Jace while holding up Force of Negation. Alright. I hate that I cannot answer Bob currently. But Bob is secretly my win condition right now. Bob probably clocks me faster than I clock it, but it's probably close. Oh god, why? Stop it with this shit. An Inquisition. I need to just counter this 3/2 body? Or do I need to draw 2 cards? Bloodbraid Elf is probably worth at least 6. Alright, I'm gonna counter this body. I'm not getting to use my mana the way that I want to. So this still leaves me with a counter spell after my opponent uses their Inquisition, which is what I care about because of that Boil, which is currently not beatable. I am going to grab a Steam Vents here in case like I were to lose this mana source. I still want to have access to my splash color for Prismatic Ending. Alright. Bob did not do its job this turn. So I get to a really weird spot if it's just like coming to my end step and my opponent doesn't cast stuff. Oh, Boil is scary. Resolves. Oh, fuck. Ugh. Good god. Like, I was kind of planning on, like, working towards some, like, Terminus line, but I think I'm just overloaded here. Fuck, how do I beat this Boil? I don't know, but it doesn't involve the cards that I currently have access to. Like Terminus. Fuck. Oh, that was bad. I think I'm getting close to, like, I need a literal miracle territory. That was the comedic timing there. Now I just have to hope my opponent doesn't cast Boil, I think. Because this is just horrendous. Bounce. Otherwise it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 damage that my opponent can do to me. Or I can try to Jace Brainstorm into something that answers one of these cards. I think I have to bounce and look like I am representing Counterspell for Boil. And see if my opponent will just attack. And then I need to luck sack into like an Entreat the Angels. Fuck, that's good too. My opponent can now play Grist. There's not anything in my hand. Jig is up. I'm about to get boiled. So my opponent has a lot of lines that beat me here. They can build their own adventure. So they can run in 6 minus, destroy their Bob, and then boil me. And that should do it. Yep. Seems like they have figured it out. Yeah. Entreat the Angels for the Rubbins. Come on. That's a Hallowed Fountain. I'll play it. I believe technically I could still make 1 angel off an Entreat the Angels and win the game. I'm not sure if that's true if my opponent double minuses Ren in 6. Ooh, spicy. Yep. Alright, so my opponent didn't go for the line that kills me as quickly as possible, which means I do still have a live line. No, because this is an Edict effect. Not sure that I actually do have a live line. Also, my opponent has 3 Planeswalkers. I don't know, maybe there's a line where I draw a Snapcaster Mage and my opponent got, like, too ambitious with their attacks. My opponent's played pretty well here, so I don't really think that's gonna happen. Alright, what are we looking at? That's not gonna do it. Alright, I'm gonna throw in the towel here. GG's. That was a great game. I don't know that this deck is the greatest, but it was a lot of fun to play. Alright, I've kept my opening hand for round 3. It's nothing really exciting. But I have 4 lands. I have a body that could trade with an early aggressive creature. I have a counterspell / draw engine. I have no idea what this is going to mean for me. There's still a version of the rack running around. Or I guess they called it 8 rack in this format. Well, I guess I'll find out. I have no idea, like, if I have to play around, like, Shadow of Doubt or some weird shit here. I'm just going to play a fetch land and pass. But if my opponent is a Shadow of Doubt deck, then I'm supposed to, like, have fetched already. Oh, okay. Black Eldrazi? Sure. Well, my removal is going to exile anyway, so that's totally fine with me. Alright. I think this is just going to be an Omen of the Sea turn cycle. Could, like, trade a Snapcaster with this naked, but I don't know that I want to do that this soon. My life total's a resource, so I'll use it. Omen? No, I don't think I Omen. Like, if my opponent wants to take that, it's fine. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'll go to 16 here. Alright. How big is this? 3/3? 3. Okay. Sure. Okay, so that's one of their Urza Saga bullets. I don't know exactly what I'm playing against. Like, it's a black Eldrazi aggro-y sort of deck. That's fine. I'm legitimately unsure if I have time for this Brainstone. My mind is telling me I probably don't. Yeah, sure. If I had taken the Brainstorm, I would have a way to, like, put this back and then more realistically use it to clean up, like, both Urza Saga tokens a little bit later. But I'm not living in that world currently. I'm not going to hold up Path on this turn cycle because I think my opponent's going to make their Urza Saga construct token at my end step, so I don't think holding it up does me a lot of good. Yep. Kind of like I thought. My own Urza Saga. I mean, yes. My opponent's Urza Saga is currently better than my own, though, because they have access to this Spell Bomb. Theirs are bigger. They also might have something like a Retrofitter Foundry that I don't have. Or they could grab a Pithing Needle here and Pithing Needle Urza Saga and kind of leave me high and dry. Basically, I'm a little worried. My Snapcasters aren't... Oh, Shadow Spear. Sure. Am I supposed to Path to Exile this turn? Probably. Just feels kind of bad if I rip a Terminus. Well, my mana's less tight if I rip something like a Prismatic Ending. Yeah. Alright. Oh, shit. I should have scryed first before doing that. I'll feel like a dummy if there is now a Terminus in my top couple cards. Alright, there is not. Alright, Lens of Clarity can go to the bottom. I will top this Path to Exile. Alright, 2 to activate, 1 to cast Path. I'm going to play a tapped Hallowed Fountain here. And hopefully my opponent uses 2 mana to equip their Shadow Spear. So that I kind of get a pseudo Time Walk effect out of this. If my position was like ever so slightly better, I would consider just like trying to save this path for this. But I think if I can't beat a 3/3 just like evasion creature after this many turns, I have other issues. Oh, my opponent has a basic wastes. I will make my construct. Alright, draws are not cooperative. I need to pick up a Brainstone here. I will probably just use that on my opponent's turn. I don't think I would double block. Let's start taking my damage. Okay. That's fine. Alright, so my opponent drops a 17. Now, oh, that's scary. Uh-huh. Don't smash me. Oh, no, here is fine. Nice. This is actively good for me. As they play the Thought Knot, it misses, and then I can Brainstone and potentially like rip it like a Terminus or a Path or something to answer it, and then like actively get a card out of it. Yes. Sure. Multiple spell bombs. This is surprising to me. This does shrink my creature notably, but oh. Well, the wear tear is actively good. We're just putting back 2 lands here. And I'll fetch. See what the old draw step offers us. Okay, I can take this Shadow Spear at some point. I think I just want to do a main phase draw, though. Kind of get a feel for what my options are. Okay. I really wanted like a spot removal spell. Counterbalance is not going to do much with Cavernous Souls on the other side of the table. Probably not going to get to fuse a Wear Tear. We'll just hold back this Construct token for a turn. And intending on maybe just jump blocking for a turn cycle. I might just destroy this Shadow Spear, though. What's the wording on this? Non-land permanent, so I can't take the Hive if they animate it. That is equipped. Oh, no. That is horrifying. That's resolving. I can't, like, Luxac into a Terminus this turn or anything. I'm going to wear this and chump block. And take 5 this turn. Jump. Destroy target artifact. Eat 5 to the face, and Luxac into Terminus. Damn. Okay, I think I wait and play the Archmage's Charm on my opponent's turn. And I am not going to play Counterbalance first, because I could draw and Entreat the Angel and get a couple of Angel tokens. I'm also not going to cast the Archmage's Charm until I am in combat. Because, like, if my opponent doesn't activate their Hive, okay, they do. Alright. Now I will activate this, because they have already activated this. Alright. Terminus. Actually, if it's Entreat, I wait. I think I just let them exile 1 card from my graveyard. Yeah, that's fine. I would prefer that these things are in combat if I actually do find Entreat. I want to make some trades. The card in my graveyard doesn't actually matter all that much, because my opponent has a spell bomb sitting there anyway. Alright, here we go. Pipe Terminus moment. Feels an awful lot like I'm dead. Take a look at the scoreboard. Yep, feels a lot like I'm dead. Alright, so we were playing against this black Eldrazi deck with some Urza Saga stuff. Probably means I want the Wear Tears and the Pithing Needle. Not feeling super great about Omen of the Sea just in the deck, generally speaking, so I think I'm going to sideboard those out just about any round that I have the ability to. I don't know if I want to go Alpine Moon levels of deep. I don't think that I do. I think this is all I'm going to sideboard. Alright, no land. Mulligan. Keep. Like, based on the mana pips that I have, there's no way I'm going to cast this blue card. I think that just needs to go back immediately. What the fuck is that Beholder land called? I actually do not know. Lair of the Beholder? Figure it out. I can scroll back through the game log if just typing in Beholder doesn't do it. Hive of the Eye Tyrant. So the reason that I am just preemptively doing this, even though like this isn't objectively all that strong of a play, is because I am basically like ride or die on my Urza Saga, just straight up beating my opponent here. And if it doesn't, I lose. So I need to just increase my artifact count as quickly as possible. I've opted to get Hallowed Fountain over a red producing land so that I can cast more relevant spells should I draw them, because it would probably be more important for me to cast something like a Path to Exile than anything else. I'm super happy to draw Brainstone, not because I think I will realistically activate this card, but because it just makes my constructs 1 larger. Yep, yeah, strip my hand. I do not care about casting those spells right now. Yep, not castable. Alright, I'm going to have a 3/3, then I'm going to have 2 4/4s, And I'm going to have 3/5/5s. Actually, they'll be a little bit bigger than that because of the things that I pull out of my deck. Which honestly will probably be a Lens of Clarity just so I can like better map out my turns. Oh? What the fuck is this? Enchanted land loses all land types and abilities and has tap for colorless or pay 1 mana on life. So this is just going to blow up my Urza Saga, isn't it? That sucks. Yeah. 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 Oh my god, that cantrips too. Fuck. Cantripping way to kill Urza Saga. What a piece of tech. Fuck me, now I can't activate this. And I don't have... I guess I keep this in play. Oh god. Got fucking ranched by Lithiform Blight. Alright. There's a Flooded Strand on top of my library. Alright. Who can play at that game? I'll hit in for 4. I don't expect to win the game from here. So, like, I'm the control deck that mulliganed twice, and I am down to 1 land in play. My 1 card that I have in hand is uncastable, and likely will remain uncastable for at least a few turns. Like, my opponent just has to have, like, Stone Cold no way to beat an Urza Saga construct token in order for me to win. And that is asking a lot. Alright. So I guess in good news question mark, I can cast Archmage's Charm next turn if I so desire. I am unsure if I will desire. Alright, so this is going to be a Thought-Knots here. Do I fetch and Brainstone and try to dodge this? I don't think so. I think I'm going to fetch. I don't know how the timing works for revealing the top card of my hand versus a shock land. Let's find out. Path to Exile. I will not pay 2 life for this. I will let my opponent take this card. I will Path to Exile this out of the way, and then crash in for 4 damage. Do I want to get through this immediately? No, I want the extra damage for that Brainstone represents. So I'll just like draw this card. Alright. I don't really want that land. I don't think I have too much choice about it. But I really don't want to take this Brainstone out of play, because then, like, if near dead lands can put some counters on this and shrink it. Reality Smasher. Alright. That will wall me. Target of a spell? Nice. I'll just play this. Next turn, I will just play Teferi, bounce Reality Smasher, and go for the win. Things can happen. But stuff's looking okay. Also, I'm not sure that I would ever want to play this deck in real life. These rounds are long and tiring. Fuck. Okay, maybe they'll attack with one of them. Okay. Yeah. That's fine. I'll take that 5, and then I'm going for lethal. My opponent could still have a Fatal Push in hand. Boing. This very specifically is one of the few things I could get Reality Smasher out of play without requiring a discard. Boing. Library is so large. Alright, is your last card a Fatal Push? It is not. We play another game. I do not think I will change any of my sideboarding. My opening hand is fine. It's not overly exciting, but it has a couple of lands, it has a Terminus, it has a way to put that Terminus back on top of the deck. I am, like, not in love with this hand, but it's probably good enough that I don't mulligan it. Like, mulliganing against a deck that probably plays 8-ish pieces of discard is not the best. Yeah. I imagine Prismatic Ending eats it here. Unless my opponent has, like, an Urza Saga, in which case Pithing Needle eats it. Alright, Prismatic Ending instead. Just a good card. That's fine. I own Urza Saga. Is this my turn 2 play again? Am I just riding that train? Worked last time. Yeah. Let's do this. Shock. Yes. I'm just going to play out a Brainstone. I think that's better than the Pithing Needle blind. Like, I want to play something out that lets me increase my artifact count so I can try to win the Urza Saga war. Sure. I can Pithing Needle that later. I am just going to start with this. It's awkward if my opponent has that cantripping way of destroying Urza Saga. Yep. Oh, fuck, I forgot to play my Pithing Needle. Yeah, I should have just, like, played that Pithing Needle on either the Hive or Scrap Heap Scrounger just for the sake of mana efficiency. Not really that big of a deal, but it might matter. Alright, I'm on 14. Okay. Just 2, right? Alright, sorry, I was thinking about some Brainstone-based lines for a second, but I think I'm kind of committed to the track that I'm on now. Alright. So, this is a good reason to have not done anything with my Pithing Needle yet, because now I can Pithing Needle my opponent's Urza Saga, and I kind of end up ahead there. Yep. At some point I can crack the Brainstone and Terminus both of these away. Is it right now? Do I just Brainstone right now? Terminus both of those for 1 mana on my turn. Give up having construct tokens, but have a completely empty board. Is that better than having 2 4/4s, which I will turn into 5/5s? I am not sure if it is. I'm gonna go the creature route. I'm unsure if that is actually correct. A Snapcaster Mage. That's gonna feel nice. I'll just pick up a Lens of Clarity. A Fairy. Do I need the Pithing Needle this turn? Yes, I do. Do I need red mana yet? I don't think I do. Grab an island. Pithing Needle. Shut off Urza Saga. And I think I am now firmly in the role of the aggressor. I'm gonna go ahead and attack on in. Play Sword and Shield with these. Alright, my opponent takes the hit. I suppose it's scary if they remove my construct token and then bash in for 6. I think I have the best chance of winning if I just try to close out this game in a couple turn cycles. Oh, shit. Oh, that's rough. I've got Terminus baselines. I have to play Island. Trade Snapcaster for the Scrounger. Then Brainstone Terminus to top and Terminus. Get rid of the other one. Not great. This Hall entering tapped is also not great for me currently. My opponent could also just like activate the Hive. Ah, shit. And I can't just naturally go into a Terminus this turn because I know what the top card of my library is. Ah, shit. That's going to shut off Brainstone. Yeah. I needed to Brainstone in response. I was just so focused on my opponent. Ah, shit. Okay, this is the point where I think it's too far gone for me to win. GG's. Alright, we're here for round 4. Full disclosure ahead of time. If this ends up being another like crazy long grind fest, I just have to stop recording this video after this league because I'm on like hour 4 of working with this already. Because this league has just been insane, and every match has just been like a 1-2 or 2-1. Or I guess 1-2. We've lost them all so far. I'm going to keep this hand. We are playing against a Lurrus of the Dream Den deck, which can mean a lot of things in Modern. We'll probably figure it out within a turn cycle. I don't think my hand is particularly good. I don't think my hand is particularly bad either, though. Like, I have tools. Alright. My opponent sat and thought for a long time, and then played Goblin Guide. We've got a Prismatic Ending to answer that immediately and save the life. So I am not 100% sure exactly what's going on with some of the like nuance of my opponent's deck. But like they have to have either white or black in their deck as their other color. Oh man, I wonder if I was supposed to like fetch and take some extra damage with Scalding Tarn so that Counterspell is a viable card to play on turn 2. It feels like the answer is no. Alright, so it looks like we're dealing with a pseudo burn deck here. Oh my god, my opponent just clicked through combat. What a boon for me. Happens to us all. No worries. Alright, this does give me a turn to play out my Brainstone. Which means that I will be able to counterspell. Like being able to just like play this tap this turn means that I can counterspell in future turns. My opponent missed 2 points of damage. Also, like, oh shit. Did my opponent actually cast this Lurrus? Or is this Lurrus just like a fuck you bluff? Because like they just happen to have... Oh my god. Is there a Lurrus in their deck that can only be cast off of treasure tokens? It's fucking hype if that's true. If this is true, my mind just, like, has fucking exploded. Okay. That's a dash Ragavan. We're going to counter that. We're not going to put up with this every turn. If my opponent has another, to just make me suffer. Alright. I'm at 11. Okay. The Lurrus went to hand. I think I just hold up Counterspell rather than jam a Planeswalker. I don't love that this is still on board and everything, but it is what it is. I'll just take this damage. I'll hold up Counterspell for my opponent's turn. And if they don't do anything, I'll Brainstone. Oh, Path is great. Yeah, I'm mostly, like, good with this stuff. I'm just gonna, like, redraw that to Fairy, and then shuffle away one land. Okay. I'll just pass the turn here. Hold up double Counterspell and Path. And then, like, start working on Teferi J stuff after that. Okay, so there is white. So maybe that ends up being indicative of, like, some Lightning Helix or Boros Charm sort of action. Uh-huh. I will counter your Lurrus. Yep. Counterspell. I am just going to take this opportunity to path this, I think. I know it's 1 damage, but, like, if I am going to play these Planeswalkers out, I need to remove those anyway. This is a surprising concession to me. I did not have that game on lockdown yet. I was ahead. That game was not over. Maybe my opponent just had, like, 2 lands in hand or something, and they were like, yeah, okay, we're done. Blossoming Calm looks fantastic. Force of Negation is potentially good against some of the things that just go directly to my head, as is Flusterstorm. I think I'm going to be looking at those things. I don't think I'll play Wear Terror. I don't actually have Graveyard Hate, huh? That's kind of wild. Like I've been doing every round, I'm just going to board out Omen of the Sea. And then I don't know, maybe I board out a Terminus or a Counterbalance. I'm going to board out a Terminus. I'm just, like, not going to have a ton of time to set up, I don't think, in a lot of instances. So I guess what's the green for? Some weird, like, Scroll Charms, or there's the, oh, holy shit. Or there's the thing that, God, what's the mechanic? It was the Gruul mechanic from the new Ravnica. Oh, it's not the new Ravnica set anymore. From one of the Ravnica sets, where you, like, discard the card and you get, like, a pseudo giant growth effect. I don't actually know the name of that. Rampage? No. Yeah, I don't remember. Not having an answer to this Ragavan super sucks, by the way. Okay. Alright. Please don't play more creatures. Yep. That's fine. I'm slightly less fine with the Goblin Guide. Current turn? Next turn. Alright, so my opponent's going for the fetch. I think they were thinking about paying with a treasure for a second there. Yep. Let's start gaining some life. And I just get to do this again. Yeah, I'll cast that. Alright, so we'll go land. Play the Lens of Clarity. Your Exile Zone. This is my library. I currently have no removal. So, like, this Blossoming Calm as life gain that I thought was going to be pretty sick. Not looking great against the double creature opener here. Triple creature opener. I'm going to take 5 damage, but I get to draw a card here. Oh god, more counter spells. Not what I want. See if my opponent tries to lightning bolt me or something. So the top card of my library is Counterspell. So if I want my opponent to not be able to cast that, I need to do this here. This Jace is not going to do me any good. I think I'm just, like, stone cold dead unless the top card of my library is an absolute banger. This is Lurrus to hand for my opponent too. My life total is, like, surprisingly okay for how bad this situation is. I just need to hold up Counterspell for Lurrus. But my opponent has 5 power in play already. They don't need to make more plays that impact the board. They can just sit here and beat me in the face for a while. Alright. Oh, that's fucking awkward. Alright, so there goes my removal spell. Now I draw a land. Alright, I think this is the point where I can go ahead and concede. This whole, like, Lens of Clarity thing, when my opponent is taking the top card of my library and I don't get to set up the way that I want, is a little sad for me. My opponent's gonna get a draw too, or they can take my Lens of Clarity. Alright, well, I guess I can Jace Brainstorm. I can Jace Brainstorm and try to find my one Terminus, and then put it 2 cards deep. Snapcaster Blossoming Calm? Alright. Alright. Actually, maybe I wanted that Force of Negation. I just wanted to give my opponent something that was going to be a blank, but maybe it should have been Counterspell instead. If I get myself out of this current kerfuffle that I'm in, I will want to Counterspell because I know my opponent has Lurrus. Jeez. Alright, that's probably an okay point where I can go ahead and pack it on up. Let's get this other Terminus in here over a Counterbalance. The Counterbalance is slow. My opponent also has relatively varied costs. It's possible Omen of the Sea is better than Counterbalance here. But I gotta lock up the end game somehow. Alright, well, I have the right number of lands for it to be a keep, but with one of these being an Urza Saga, I can't actually cast any of the spells in my hand. How do I feel about the turn 3 Sweeper hand? Good enough? Good enough to gamble on it? I think I have to throw back the Urza Saga if I do this, though. I'm gonna go ahead and pay some life here. Here's to hoping that my opponent plays a creature on turn 1 that is not Ragavan. Alright. I think I'm still on the same plan. Alright, what are you doing? Please just play out a creature so I can get a 2-for-1 with Terminus. Yes? Yes. Now, because like both Ragavans and Goblin Guides are involved, I cannot get cute with my Brainstone here and try to intentionally draw an extra card. What else entered the reveal center? Force of Negation, sure. Alright, so the Force of Negation is going to get pulled off of my library. Alright, yep. Oh, we got post-combat creature. Post-combat creature. Oh, shoot. Hello? I'd like to place my order for my 4-for-1. Am I ready for Urza Saga? I'm ready for Urza Saga. Like, put back Island. Back Island, Terminus. It's a miracle! Alright. There's my 4-for-1. Play Urza Saga. Now, by opting to play out the Urza Saga, I am not leaving up Blossoming Calm in this turn cycle, which is relevant. But I think that's fine, because I have it up for the next turn cycle instead. Yeah, well, that was bound to happen to something. At least I still have all my colors. Land go. I have a Path to Exile for a Lurrus if Lurrus ends up coming around. Otherwise, I have a Blossoming Calm for something that goes directly to my dome. I'm going to take 1 and just Prismatic Ending that away on my turn. Ooh. Target me? No. What a sideboard card. That was just worth 5 life for me. Feels good. Opponent has 0 cards left. I am in the driver's seat here. Get to pick up my Triome. Get to gain 2 more life here. Go back up to 11. Go land. Prismatic Ending that away. And have Archmage's Charm or Path to Exile open for my opponent's turn. Lurrus to hand. Lurrus to hand. Yep. I will just draw 2 cards here. Having a counterspell is nice, but I'll just take more cards. Hot damn. Alright. Life's good. I can even just let the Lurrus hit play. Like, it's not scary. Lurrus lets you cast permanents, so you don't get to play lands with it. So, because we exiled, what, 5 or 6 creatures? Well, okay, they weren't all exiled. Some of them went to the bottom of the library and said, okay, we want a match, and that one was fast enough that we can play 1 more round. Alright, I've kept my opening hand here. I think I'm just going to lead on Hall of the Storm Giants so that I have the possibility of casting Counterspell on turn 2. And, like, so that, like, this is going to enter untapped. I'm not sure if I'm going to play Urza Saga on turn 2 or not. So if I play Urza Saga on turn 2, I, like, kind of lose a lot of, like, Archmage's Charm lines, but, like, Urza Saga is just the stupid powerful thing that my deck can do. It just like super sucks if I miss a land though. I think it's fine because I get to like play Omen of the Sea in this turn cycle though. This may be going too aggro though. I don't have heuristics for modern. Like I don't know what I'm supposed to be thinking after my opponent plays Marsh Flats. You shock the top 3 cards of your library. Put any number into your graveyard and the rest on top in any order with flashback. Okay. Are we like Turbo Murktide deck? Self mill? Lingering Souls. Okay, so we're like self mill value flashback shenanigans. Okay. Yeah, Phil, you've got time for one more round. It'll be fine. It won't be a long, grindy one, I swear. Fuck. Buckle up, folks. Video is never gonna end. Seriously, though, I'm having fun. I'm just, like, exhausted. I thought, oh, yeah, Modern League. Those go quick. Not this time. Not this time. Alright, let's try to hit my next land drop. Or no, I already have my next land drop. Alright, my brain is just fucking melted at this point. Bottom prismatic ending. I'm gonna top this land. No, I'm not gonna top this land. This doesn't produce blue right now. Alright. Plan achieved. So, this is probably not rational, but every bone in my fucking body right now is screaming play around Shadow of Doubt. So I'm gonna play around Shadow of Doubt by just playing Island instead of Flooded Strand, even though I think playing Flooded Strand is better in an instance where my opponent doesn't actually have a Shadow of Doubt. But yeah. I don't know. Just weird gut feeling here when I don't know what my opponent is doing. Play around Fringe Blue crap that I know exists. Oh shit. Alright. Never mind. My opponent is not going to be quite as controlling as I thought they were. This is going to be the Reanimate card that returns non-legendary creatures. I don't remember what its actual name is. Persist? Might be Persist. In which case, the fact that this Urza Saga is not producing blue might cost me this game. Don't do it. Fuck. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, this was avoidable with format knowledge that I did not have. Yep. Yeah. We'll discard a prismatic ending, I guess. Yeah, so basically, I need a path to exile. Answering this immediately important enough that I don't make my Urza Saga construct tokens? Probably. I was just about to say, am I going to get punished by having a Terminus in my top couple of cards and not playing Flooded Strand? Sure am. And I have a forced shuffle due to my Urza Saga, right? I do. Not a you may. It is a search. Fuck. Fuck. Alright. We'll use Jace to bounce it. That'll work. But it does mean I'm not getting any constructs out of this. Because I don't think I wait a turn. That card's fucking scary. Grab the lens. Sure. Saga? I think Saga. I don't know like what all I need to be playing around here. Well, we're gonna take that out. And then hopefully I can just like unsummon a few things, make a couple of large constructs, and ride that to victory before my opponent finds a way to get that thing back into the graveyard and back into play. Lingering Souls tokens can get a little bit awkward because like those are on board. If things get weird, I can always Archmage's Charm. Take a Lingering Souls token and use it to block the other one that attacks. Or like unsummon one, take one. I don't know, I kind of just want to like make my Urza Saga tokens and use Jace as a distraction. Like, I am definitely scared of this deck. Because it's objectively powerful and I don't know what I'm doing against it, and that's a bad combo. Alright, so opponent's down to 17. I also need to just like end this game before Hall of Storm Giants kills me. I better get like Collective Brutality'd. Oh, I am. Ooh, did my opponent... Yeah, my opponent did not just immediately discard that critter. Are they just gonna like hold it and... Or do I have another? Okay, they're flashing back Lingering Souls. Sure. Terminus. Don't mind if I do. 8 seal opponent? I'll Fate Seal opponent. We'll just keep the Jace alive. No, you can keep that. Oh, shit. I wonder if I fucked up. I wonder if I was supposed to shock with that so I can play Archmage's Charm. I was thinking about making my Urza Saga Construct tokens, but that's just going to get Terminus away as long as I feel like I actually do have to Terminus. My opponent just, like, attacks Jace for 2. I don't actually have to Terminus. Okay. Alright, so Jace can go down to 2. That's fine. Some more stuff. Yes. 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 Flash it back. Fucking flash it back. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, I mean, it's probably time. I'll do this anyway, in case my Terminus were to get countered. Boom. Alright. I am just gonna go ahead and make this. Take my 3/3. Alright. Brainstorm now, probably. I have this other Brainstone on top. This isn't doing anything. Get rid of this. Snapcaster's not doing anything too insane right now. I think Archmage's Charm is just currently better. Go ahead and fetch. I think I will shock. Get access to red for some like prismatic ending based shenanigans. Oh, nice. Another Urza Saga is fantastic. My Archmage's Charms can take constructs. They can be counter spells. Or not constructs. They can take spirits. They can be counter spells. Be whatever I need it to be. I do have to keep in mind that like my opponent is starting to get pretty close to Hall of the Storm Giants, and I don't have a path to exile yet to like answer this. Oh, what is it? Oh, do you have Prismatic Ending by Jace? Yeah, that card's pretty good. Yeah. I also could get attacked with this as soon as next turn, and this says non-land. Oh. Alright, so Turbo Murktide was part of the equation. Alright, draw 2 immediately, try to find Path to Exile before my opponent untaps. Actually, I haven't seen any counter spells yet. Maybe I can wait. I don't know, I'd really like to attack if I can. Take the draw 2 here. Really closer to draw 1. Like, is this next card what I need it to be? Terminus. I can set that up for next turn. I'm living this incredibly awkward life, huh? Yeah, I mean, I guess I do this. Oh, Arctide Region is also attacking for a minimum of 7 next turn, assuming they flash back Lingering Souls. So my life total literally gets halved. There is also Hall of the Storm Giants, which could finish the job very easily. But, like, whether or not my opponent flashes back Lingering Souls here is a huge thing for the game, because it's like the difference between me being on a 1 versus a 2-turn clock versus Hall of the Storm Giants later. And they figured that out as well. Yeah, so I'm going to be dead to my opponent having another land drop with basically no say about it. All right, I go to 7. All right. Don't have a land. All right. Brainstone. I don't think Wear Tear matters here. So let's put back Wear Tear and Terminus. All right. I'll cast this bad boy. Again, wiping my own construct tokens and not making any ground in terms of actually eliminating my opponent's life total. Yeah. Alright. So, land. I have 2 mana for Counterbalance, and then 2 mana to activate Urza Saga. Am I good with that? Yes. But I lose the ability to play around the line of specifically fetching and looking for one of my Path to Exiles to kill this if my opponent top decks a land. But I think I have to just like get something into play that gives me some extra traction because I am way behind currently. This is Collective Brutality as a Duress. I am pretty sure the rules changed, so this is now a 3-drop. I am not going to look it up, but I'm pretty sure. White, just don't take the life. I think don't take the life. No. All right. So Your duress effect works. My Urza Saga's disappearing also had mean that, like, I can't attack with my own Hall of the Storm Giants. Yep. I'm going to have Path Exile for my opponent's Hall of the Storm Giants. That's good. Alright, I'll make my own Deuter. Also, did I have enough mana to actually pay for the ward? I don't think I did. Alright, so it's a 3/3 base, and it's about to get bigger. So now it's a 4/4. Okay. That's just going to resolve. I wonder if my... Ah, shit, I got the Archon into the graveyard. That was a, escalated. I didn't notice it was escalated. Never mind. I don't need to go down that path of conversation then. Alright, so they sent a couple of things into their graveyard. They can use this opportunity to flash it back while they know it is not counterable. Oh shit, did I just kill myself? No, I'll have a blocker for all the Storm Gods if they go to activate it. Okay, looks like they kept stuff there the second time around. Put another one of these into play. I have a land on top of library. Attack? I could just, like, not attack. No, I want to put this pressure on my opponent's life total. Like, I'd rather make my opponent spend a turn tapping all of their lands to kill one of these, and then I still get to attack for 5 and then blow that up in the next turn cycle. That gets me closer to winning. And if I make it around and I get to be attacking for 10, that is incredibly strong. I also have Brainstone. If my opponent casts a 1-drop, I have a very good chance at just ending that. Nice. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5. All right, now I have Brainstone into a counter spell available. Send it. All right. Oh my god, we came through and won this one. I mean, presumably, something could still happen in my opponent's second main phase here, but feels pretty good for me. Yeah, you can, well, I guess this is just like sick Brainstone value that I should just take. I still have lethal damage. I'll just put back like double 1-drop here. Goodbye. I've got Counterspell plus Path to Exile. That should beat most things. Plus a Prismatic Ending, so I can even get through 2 Lingering Souls tokens after countering the front side. I also do have the option to Brainstone again and put a Counterspell on top if my opponent casts a 2-drop, but I don't know that I would actually do that. There's going to be a Murktide Regent. That is answerable via Path to Exile that's in my hand. I'm going to just let that resolve. So let's path that, get it out of the way. Holy shit. Okay, so you remember that part where I said I didn't have any graveyard hate? Just bringing that up for no apparent reason. Wow. This is going to be hard to do without graveyard hate. Because that threat is just going to be constantly there. I'm going to junk all the Omen of the Seas. Bring in Force of Negation. And I probably need one more answer. The Alpine Moon's symmetrical? No. Oh, I need to bring in an Alpine Moon just so I have one more answer to Hall of the Storm Giants. It might just be like a one-of in my opponent's deck, but it's a really hard card for me to beat. Oh, this Wear Terror is also very bad. Okay. Go home. Mystical Dispute. Some amount of this stuff should be in. I don't really know if Fluster is going to be great. Very important versus a couple of cards, but like it's not great versus Lingering Souls, for example, because it doesn't exile. I'm gonna bring in 2 Alpine Moons. I don't know how many Hall of the Storm Giants my opponent has, but it's real tough for me to beat. I've got a bit of an awkward opening hand here. The Alpine Moon is something like I kind of wanted to draw late-ish in a game, not early. That said, I think Counterbalance into Teferi is a strong enough opener that against most of my opponent's slower hands, that should be totally fine. Against some of their more impressive hands, it's not really anything. I could spend 5 minutes thinking about what land to fetch here, and whether or not I play Brainstone this turn. I think I do. I think my mana is going to be tight for most of this game. I'm not going to spend too much time thinking about this. I'm just going to fire off Hollowed Fountain and play the Brainstone, because then I get the option to Brainstone on turn 2, Terminus on turn 3. Ooh, Faithful Mending is in there as well. That makes a lot of sense. I didn't see that last game, but like, of course that card is in there. So my current plan is just like fetch a Steam Vents and then play a Counterbalance on my turn 2. Unless something really makes me change that plan. Like this. Goodbye counterbalance, I assume. There's a world where Teferi goes instead. Oh, I lost the Terminus. Interesting. Very interesting fact. Alright, I do think I want to just, like, pull a land out of the deck here and gain access to red. So let's slam the naked counterbalance and let it do its thing. Let's get lucky. Note we're pretty far ahead in terms of clock here as well. Yes. Brainstone on top. Womp womp. Alright. Play counterbalance or play my own Teferi? I think I play the counterbalance. My own Teferi is probably not doing a shit ton. I'll play out my Brainstone. Mostly because I'm somewhat likely to just like bounce one at some point in this game. Or no, this is an up to, right? Yeah, I can just use this as a -3 draw card as well. But having these in play preemptively is quite good with counterbalance. Sure. I need to get their Teferi out of play. This stops me from miracling things. Well, not if I have my own Teferi, oddly enough. Huh. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Let's play the lens. Okay. I'll play my own Teferi. My opponent. Oh, nice. Yes. Alright, gotten one free one off counterbalance there. Okay, so now they know that is going to resolve. Alright, there's now a another faithful mending in the graveyard. I'm just going to send this to Fairy on up. I want to leave this counterbalance on top until I have mana untapped, at which point I can use a Brainstone to return it back on top in response to something like a faithful mending, if that's something that I want to do. Yep, alright. So in good news, I have an answer to that already. Bad news, this game's gonna get super fucking weird. Might go to time. Okay, yep. I mean, you know that works. Alright. So my opponent's graveyard gets a little bit thicker. Whole dueling Teferi situation is super strange. I don't like super want this card. I go ahead and just like draw a card here. Path Exile. I don't want that card either. It's fine to have a 1-drop on top. Let's shut this off now. Alright, so I have 1s and 2-drops covered for the next turn cycle. Alright, great. I love seeing my opponent just like play out those lands rather than like cycling them with Faithful Mending. Ooh, movement. Sure. It seems like my opponent is casting a Murktide Regent. I will just take my draw set for turn, draw Path to Exile, and answer it that way. Okay, as expected, it was Murktide Regent. Okay, interestingly, my opponent junked their Faithful Mendings rather than keeping those in graveyard, which is super weird to me. Well, I guess it's not super weird. A little bit weird to me. I'll just counter that. Ooh, god, Jace is on top of library too. Hot. I'll plus my Teferi. Just have to exile that now. I guess I could have thought about that timing a little bit more. I'm just going to hold this counterbalance in hand. I'll probably substitute it for a Jace in a second. I think once I have a Jace and a Teferi and a counterbalance in play, I am wildly favored. Yeah, I want to do this anyway. Oh, just infinite land. Yeah, I'll just put back 2 lands and fetch. I don't think I will want to Brainstone again, but I'm going to take 2 points of damage in case I change my mind. No. Alright, you can have the other world to gaze. So if I can get a land, I can play Jace with a counterspell back up, which is pretty sick. Again, though, I am also just playing towards timeout as my primary win condition. My opponent is playing extremely slowly. Partially, it's their deck, though, if I'm being honest. Yep. Alright. Pluses to Fairy here. I don't even know if I want to play this Jace this turn, as crazy as that sounds. I don't know. Jace plus Teferi should answer most things. If this is wrong, it can't be that wrong. Do the Brainstorm. Most of the time I find a land, yeah. Double 3-drop. Most scared of Lingering Souls currently. Have counterspell for things that aren't named Lingering Souls. Already activated this. Are we done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shit, that was on board and I didn't really think of it. I don't want to lose a planeswalker to that. Alright. This was a line that I identified like 15 turns ago. Well, not 15 turns ago, but earlier in this game. As like potentially being something that could beat me. And then I forgot to play around it once I started getting ahead. Okay, they're going for my head directly. So they're going to attempt to do that same thing again at some point and kill me. That's how they can win before timing out, is just plus to fairy. Repeat that line. That's kind of bad. I just need to like use this brainstone and get deeper. Probably. I think this is better than like the counterbalance utility. Snapcaster Path to Exile. Great. A plus to fairy. How does this read? Sorcery spells as though they had flash. So if I want a Snapcaster, I do have to just do it at sorcery speed. Let's Jace Brainstorm. Back a counterbalance. And an Archmage's Charm. 5 mana could get rid of Teferi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That leaves me with 2 other mana. We'll get rid of Teferi next turn. I'll just kind of hold up everything else in this turn cycle. Now it's sorcery spells as though they had flash. Not everything. Alright, let's end this thing. Oh, why did I think I had a prismatic ending? Huh, I really thought I had a prismatic ending in my graveyard, not Path to Exile. Yet. Oh, that's super awkward. Alright, so let's get deeper then. Don't have a way to draw a card at an instant speed currently to wipe that. Oh, this is awkward. Okay. I'll play that on the hall. I guess I play a naked Snapcaster so I can attack a Teferi? Or have another blocker? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Alright, Consider does not get countered by my Terminus that's on top of my library. I kind of bungled that last turn cycle. Hopefully it doesn't matter, but I definitely had better lines available. Lingering Souls is good, and that can happen at instant speed. No. So I'm going to plus my own Teferi. My opponent is going to Teferi bounce this, and then I am going to cast an instant speed Terminus to get rid of my opponent's Hall of the Storm Giants. That's my plan. Confirming, cast sorceries. Yeah. Okay. Teferi plus, so I don't forget that. Do I want a Jace minus or Jace Brainstorm? I think I want a Jace Brainstorm. My hand's really bad. By Jace minus, though, it really incentivizes my opponent to go for the kill. Yeah, I'm going to Jace minus. Now, I don't want to attack the Teferi because I want my opponent to go for the kill. Kind of fucked up. Sure. Also, why can I not do this? I should be able to cast this, right? Until your next turn, you may cast sorcery spells as though they had flash. Is this a bug? Or is that how that works? I just played what I thought was an incredibly smart line that I think is not actually working. How much does this drain for? 3? Oh, that's super unfortunate. Yep. I mean, I can't counterspell. That is very sad. And I die. Oh, shit. My opponent was down a game all that time? Oh. We'll win this one on a technicality then. Sure. How deep do I go here? Is this like Blossoming Calm to survive for 1 minute deep? Yeah, I think this is every piece of... Yeah, okay. Yep, my opponent agrees. Okay. Right. Reread Teferi. I am the opponent. I can only cast spells anytime they could cast a sorcery. Plus, until your next turn, you may cast a sorcery as though they had flash. So at flash speed, I am allowed to cast a sorcery. All right, we're gonna go to Twitter for this one and see if that's a bug or see if I'm misunderstanding this interaction. Overall thoughts on the deck list. This was fun. I enjoyed it. I never want to do it again. So for recording for me, every round, with the exception of I think round 4, lasted about an hour. This is just brutally slow, and it's a little clunky. They're like, when things are going, it's super cool, and it's very fun and very interesting, but before they get going, like, you have a lot of cards in your deck that just kind of suck. Like, Brainstorm is not on rate for Modern. The difference between 1 and 2 mana is not it just doesn't feel like the difference of 1 mana. You know, it feels like triple the mana in reality because you lose out on a lot of the flexible lines, especially in terms of like your pacing. Especially when like you start thinking about the fetch lands, like brainstorm into fetch, shuffle the bad stuff away as a turn 2 plan that allows you to fix an opening hand. Well, Brainstone doing the same thing is your turn 1 mana and your turn 3 mana, which is rough and a huge difference. I felt like Omen of the Sea was the worst card in the deck by a pretty significant margin. The Lens of Clarity was very interesting. I don't know that it's actually good. I kind of felt like I wanted a real win condition that I could get off of Urza's Saga, though, because I ended up terminusing away my own constructs a bunch of times. And on that note, like, the Urza Saga's disappearing meant that it was hard to actually activate my Hall of Storm Giants. I don't think the main deck Wear Tear should be there, and I kind of want there to be some graveyard hate of some kind in these 75. But this was a fun league. Now, if you'll excuse me, I am going to go to bed. I am exhausted. If you enjoyed this video and you made it to the end somehow, you know, you should be subscribed if you aren't already, and throw me a like or a comment. That sort of stuff means the world. Have a great rest of the day, folks. And Evan, thank you for putting this list together. This was a blast.